up to 20 weeks pregnant, and I lost my baby.
They did give you the option to terminate the baby, and she refused.
Yeah.
And I even told her to terminate the baby.
There is no formula for dealing with grief, whether you're the person who's lost something or whether you're somebody who wants to support somebody who's lost something.
It's so awkward as an adult. I actually think it's easier being there for friends when we were younger, because I could just come to your house at a younger age. But it's so awkward as an adult. I actually think it's easier being there for friends when we were younger, because I could just come to your house at a younger age. There's no responsibility. I could just barge into your house. I don't care, you don't want to see me. I'll come as an adult. Something in me cannot just appear in my friend's home. Actually, I have a question for you. This is a serious question, actually. And let me rephrase that again. So, when I was younger, I could just say I'm going to Yasmin's house. She doesn't need to know I'm coming. As an adult, it's really hard, and I always feel bad as well, because I actually have a friend of mine who, at the moment, she's not been responding to me, and she lost her mom. But I just can appear in her house because she's an adult. I don't even know if she's going to be there. And also because I know me losing my mom, I want space. I don't want to see you. I really don't text me, or actually text me. I take that back. I want you to message me. If I ignore you, still text me.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting thing. I struggle. I don't know if that affects you, but with me, so while my friends are withdrawn, even you have started doing that where you don't respond to me, so I don't get offended, but I will still be like, hey, are you okay? So I don't know, what is the best advice in terms of me rambling? Do you understand my question?
I understand your
great.
question, and it's an interesting one. I mean,
Yeah.
I think you'll acknowledge, both of you, you're mature women.
Yeah.
Life happens, and we have responsibilities as life happens.
Yeah.
You're not children anymore, where life hasn't impacted on you and you didn't have responsibilities then. You have responsibilities now. You have families, you have jobs, you have things that you want to be doing. And sometimes you're careful about not wanting to interrupt that flow for somebody else. So you have to keep that in mind, that, you're grown women now.
Yeah.
But in a strange kind of way, and I want to say this, I feel really privileged being amongst you two and hearing your story and, feeling the love that you have for each other and the history that you have for each other. It's very, very clear, and it's there to be seen. And that makes it easier when you want to support and love each other when you're going through difficult times. That makes it so much easier. I mean, of course, it might become more challenging the more responsibility you have, the older the kids get, whatever happens in your life. It's always much more difficult and challenging for us to become involved. But you two have got a tight relationship by the looks of it.
Oh yeah, she's to death do us part, honey. She's going nowhere.
But my answer to your question is life happens, and sometimes you will back off because life is happening for that person. I totally understand that. You're not children anymore. Things are happening.
I think we understand boundaries, good and bad.
Yeah.
But I always feel bad within. Like I wish I could, but
Girl, you should know you can just walk up to my house.
No, I know. No, not with you. Not with you, though. No, of course not. I can, honey girl, I'll come break the door down. Hello, come out. If anything, I think where I feel like I'm lacking with our friendship, to be honest, is with your kids. And the thing is with me, it's not even just you. It's even with some cousins of mine. I'm not really. I don't know how to.
I know what it is. You've told me before.
Tell me.
You said once the child is able to communicate with you and have fun with you, then you can be more
because
active.
Because I can be like, hey, come and meet me here. When
you're just laying there.
It's like, what are we doing? I hope you're not offended.
I'm definitely
okay.
I know what you're like anyway.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so just like, okay. So yes, my friend, I love you so much, okay? Love you till death do us part. Not anytime soon.
No.
Okay, good. So guys, thank you so much for listening. And as I mentioned, today's topic is on grief and how it affects your sleep. So I'll just share a little bit about my experience with grief and sleeping. So when I lost my mom, I couldn't sleep. I was scared of the dark. I was scared to fall asleep because I thought I was going to die. I don't know why. I was scared. I felt like I would die in my sleep for some reason. So what I was doing was all through the night, I would watch series all through the night. And once I see daylight, I fall asleep. this was an ongoing thing for me. And this is why I'm addicted. You know how people are addicted to drugs or alcohol? My addiction is serious. And serious, to be honest, got me through my grieving, because now every day I cannot go to bed without watching something or series. I have to. I watch. To be honest, it's like brushing my teeth with series every day. So that was what I was doing. So that's how it affected my sleep. I couldn't sleep. I was scared of the dark, and every time I tried to sleep, all I could just see was my mom, and so it was a struggle to fall asleep. And nothing helped me, to be honest. The only things I remember that helped me, to be fair, was when I started dating. And I would go on dates, and then when I liked the person, I would start reminiscing about them to block off my mom's thoughts. That was the only thing I was doing. So I would fall asleep and I would see my mom, and that would scare me. But then I'll go to sleep and I'll start thinking of the date, thinking of if we kissed or the drink or what he's saying to me, and that's how I would fall asleep. So I was fine. That was the only thing to think of that would make me fall asleep. So that's how it affected my sleep. It does still affect me to today though, but only when I'm sad or when I have things on my mind. But yeah, grief affected me for a very long time. So I was just wondering, what do you think that is? Or like, how do you think I could have helped myself sleep better?
I did say earlier that grief affects everyone in different ways, and you're impacted by sleep. I mean, what's making me think of when you talk about it is, I mean, losing our mother is always a great loss. I mean, she's in some ways our first contact with the world, and when they disappear, it's very, very impactful. And in a way, it's not a surprise that you end up, if you're that close to them, not being able to sleep properly once that happens. Now, you did say your mother died some time ago.
12 years ago. 2012.
Yeah, and grief can be affecting for as long as that, and in different ways. And I imagine it's not only your sleep that's been affected, but there will be other parts of your life. I mean, there's no one stock answer really, or one reason. It just affects us all in very different ways. There'll be other people who have lost their mothers where it's affected, their work circumstances, their financial circumstances, their sexual relationships, their relationships with other people. I mean, it really does depend on individual circumstances.
Yeah, no, I actually agree with that. And also, Yas, you mentioned to me, this one is quite scary. Oops. I remember when we had drinks the last time I saw her, she was saying to me that you were sleepwalking.
I was sleepwalking.
Right, please tell us the story, because that is scary.
So when my mum passed April of last year, it took a little while to kind of kick in, if you must. But I would say maybe July, August time, it actually started to really trouble my sleep. I think that's when I really started to acknowledge the fact that, okay, wow, my mom's actually passed away. And I started kind of dreaming, and she'd be in my dreams. So just quickly, so as a Muslim, we wash the body, and we do certain things, we pray over her and stuff. So it was me and my sister who actually washed my body and stuff before she was buried. So I kind of have that visual of how she looked then. So I had a lot of bad dreams, and I had a lot of images. So it took a little while to even kind of get that image out of my mind and just bring back the living, kind of looking fresh-faced mum.
Wow.
As I started to do that, my dreams started getting more intense. The more I tried to control it, the more I lost control. And there was one night where one of my boys was just causing a lot of chaos in the bed, because we bed share. And I was like, I'm going to the living room. I can't sleep anywhere. I'm just going to go and lay down in the living room. Lay down in the living room, fell asleep. The next thing I knew, I was kind of in between my kitchen and my hallway by the door. The only way I can describe it is it felt like I had literally ran and bumped into something, because the way I woke is I was on my bum, kind of leaning backwards type of thing. And I was just like, how did I get here? So you know my house. So the living room where my corner sofa is, and I was on the other side by where the kitchen is. So I had literally run across my living room. So it's literally from here to by the door over there. And I just woken up and I thought, wow, what's going on? So it really scared myself. And
Wow.
That was like the first night it happened, and then it happened about 5 or 6 times after that. Over a space of maybe a month.
So you didn't wake up when you found it, you like slept there and then you woke up in the morning and found yourself there?
No. So I from what I can imagine, I've obviously like got out of bed in my sleep. It felt like I was running. That might be a complete lie. I might have walked, but I woke up on my bum. So it's like it felt like I'd knocked into something and it woke me. But I think I woke falling.
Oh wow!
And then I was on my bum, yeah. And I was just like, okay, that's
scary.
Fun.
Wait, so 6-7 times?
Yeah, in the space of like a month.
Well, in the same position or how?
So sometimes I'd be in bed and I'd find myself in the hallway or in the kitchen. Yeah, and I'd be like, sometimes I'd find myself where I've obviously fallen.
Wow.
Or sometimes I just I'll just wake up and I'm just like in the kitchen and I'm just like, bloody heck, like this ain't great.
Were you not? Did it not scare you?
Not so much scared me. More, I was more nervous to sleep because I didn't want to wake up somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like I said, I bed share, so I was also scared that I was gonna hurt like Zach, go on. But yeah, clearly it didn't disturb any of them in their sleep. But yeah, so that was quiet.
Can I ask you something about this? What a fascinating thing. I mean, I have very little experience of hearing anyone talk about such circumstances in your life. What do you put it down to? Where do you think that comes from? Do you think it's directly related to the fact that you've lost your mother, or is it something else? What's your thinking?
Well, naturally, I went online and I was just like, what's going on with me? I saw that there was a lot of things with stress, and I am very stressed anyway. I feel like a lot of times my body just feels like it's in fight or flight a lot of the times. I don't know if just motherhood stresses of just life, trying to find a job now so that my boys can go to nursery, the loss of my mum, like obviously still trying to go over loss of my granddad's baby. So I think just everything in one, trying to make sure at that time as well, like my brother was homeless, so trying to sort him out, making sure my sister's okay at uni. I think there was just a lot going on. Maybe my body just kind of responded to that. I don't know. I couldn't tell you because there was just a lot going on at the time. And I think my body was just going a bit wild with it.
Yeah, I did do some research actually, and it actually states in my note that stress does cause sleepwalking, but also I would think as well because it perhaps triggers from everything accumulated, and does a relaxation and stress management techniques would help you.
I've never slept or had any problems in life like with sleeping, so this was definitely a new one for me.
Yeah, but it stops now.
Yes.
Okay, thank great. Goodness.
Can I just ask whether you sought professional help as well? Did you speak to your GP or anyone else, and did they come up with anything?
No.
It might be worth asking the question. I mean,
I have
very curious
actually started the process of trying to get some grief counselling.
Oh, right.
So maybe I'll bring that up then and see what they say. But
good.
Do you have any do's and don'ts that you would like to share about grief?
Do's and don'ts?
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of one of the same in terms of it's a do and a don't. So I would just say once you feel ready, don't kind of keep everything in. Make sure you do speak out, because the more I talk about it, I think it does actually help. And I've done counselling in the past, and I always try to say to people, I know there's a lot of like stigma around counselling, but it does genuinely help as long as you do it with the right person at the right time. So I would definitely say try not to kind of just go by yourself, be within yourself. Do definitely talk, even if it's just to your cat. Just talk out loud. Like just talk out loud. Like just bring out your emotions and write stuff down. Like I find writing things down, like it doesn't have to be like a dear diary type of thing, but just feeling certain emotions, just write it down. How you're feeling today. If today is a good day, if today's a bad day, just write it down, because when you're in a better position in life, I feel like you look back at those things and you think, look at where I've come from, look at what's happened in life, and wow, I'm still here, I'm stronger for it. I just think it's a really good thing to do. Read books.
Yeah, I need to try the writing down. Actually, I'll take that on board.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to do that, but I haven't, and I've heard people say, writing, journaling helps.
Yeah.
I'm going to start that. Thank you for that one. Take that down. Do you have any do's and don'ts?
I've just been asking myself the question, and I'm not entirely sure. I mean, with the losses that I've had in my life, about confronting them and speaking to people, most important. But also as well to acknowledge that your response to grief is going to be different. I mean, I was very, very interested to hear you say that, I think I heard you right, forgive me if I got you wrong, about not having visited the gravesites in the time it's happened, and there will be reasons for that. You might want to think about that, certainly alongside your grief counsellor. And I would say, personally, don't not do it. That would be one of the things I would say, do not do. At some point you will come to a time and a place of comfort where you'll be able to do it. But then, don't force yourself to do anything, because this is just the way that you're handling the situation. Know that your response to grief is different to another person's.
Of course.
I actually have a question about the grave one, but I'll come to that. Biggest regrets. Is there anything you wish you would have done with your mother while she was alive?
With my mom while she was alive? In all honesty, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm like a great daughter, I genuinely believe I did a lot.
Wow.
I genuinely believe I did the best that I could. Like I said, again, she had a lot of mental health, and within my capacity from a very young age, I'm talking from the age of like 12 and upwards, I did everything I possibly could. The only thing I probably would try to say is that I would have tried to get her maybe to talk a little bit more, because I would just accept the fact that she didn't want to talk, and I'm like, okay, maybe if I pushed a little bit more, maybe she could have got a few things back out a bit more, and then her mental health would have been a little bit better. On the day that she passed, I have a lot of regret that I still have to get over. She passed the day after my birthday. She was unwell for about a week, and on my birthday, I love my birthday, and I was like, she's not called me, so I called her in the evening. She could barely talk to me, she was throwing up and stuff. I feel like I should have, that next day, I should have just gone to her house, but instead my sister came to me. I feel like, who knows, maybe if I went there, maybe, I could have seen the state that she was in, we could have rushed her to hospital, who knows, but that's always like but just in general, just try to get her to talk a bit more, I think.
I can relate. I think everyone has regrets with grief and stuff, but I can concur that you were literally like your mother's mother. So I know that firsthand, that you literally looked after your mom. Okay. So
before you go on, I mean, your question is such an important one. And sorry, sometimes I think I'm talking too much, and you are the ones that are, ones that are talking about your own grief. But here's the thing: I cannot imagine there is anyone in the whole world who's lost somebody that hasn't thought, what could I have done differently? Sometimes people are thinking, what could I have done differently to even avoid the death? That's
my biggest one.
Exactly. And it's normal to think that. It is normal to think that. But circumstances are circumstances, and in some ways you want to, in some ways, excuse yourself for taking responsibility for the death itself. Isn't necessarily your fault, but it's ordinary for you to think like that. I mean, it's a brilliant question you asked. You have to give it to consideration that you will have those regrets, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the death of that person was down to you. Keep that in mind.
I agree. Okay. What do you miss most about your mum?
I think how she transformed into a grandma. That was like me having my kids brightened everything up for her. It was just seeing her. She was out of my mum and my husband's mum, she was definitely the active one. She'd be on the floor with them running around, she'd be in the park. So just kind of that transition, I definitely miss. I'm sad that she won't have the opportunity to continue that journey, because it definitely was making her a better person. It was helping everything. She was eating better because she needed the energy to come. She lived in Northwest London, I'm in East London. She had to travel to get here, but she was doing the best she could. So I think just that, the grandma bit.
Okay. Do you dream about your mom?
Not often.
Okay, I don't too.
Yeah.
So I was like, why not?
And I'm kind of glad. I'm glad I don't, because it's always been bad dreams. It's always been scary nightmare type dreams. Hence the whole sleepwalking stuff. So I don't think I want to.
Yeah.
Why do you answer the question?
Pardon?
Why do you answer the question about what she dreams about her mother?
I just like to understand how other people are with their grief, because I don't dream about my mom. And so I just want to see, like...
My sister does.
Oh, does she?
My younger sister, she always dreams.
Yeah, because I don't. I'm always like, I have a few times, but not often.
No, it's a really good question as well.
So
only
that's why I'm
because
curious. I wanted
many
to
people
see.
say it. Many people say that they dream about that person, or they dream that they see that person again, or they've been visited by the person in their dreams. So it's an interesting.
Do you experience confusion or hallucination? My podcast is because of things that I experience and trying to see how other people relate or if they experience what I'm experiencing.
Okay.
So when I just lost my mom, I will be walking on Oxford Street, and then I'll be like running after a woman thinking that was my mom. I was like, oh, sorry. So that used to happen to me a lot. Like, I used to hallucinate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't
You've not experienced that? Yeah. I'll be on the bus and I'll be like, oh, okay, no, that's not my mom. Yeah, it's just so weird. Yeah. But I have other friends who have lost their mom and it happens to them. Okay. Yeah, so I was wondering if that's happened to you.
No. I couldn't imagine like knowing my mom's past and just thinking that she's there.
I used to think I've seen her, but that happened to me, to be honest, only in the first 3 months when I lost her, because I wouldn't accept she was gone. So I don't know, maybe that's why I was just imagining things, but yeah.
In a kind of common sense way, it's not surprising.
Okay.
It can't be surprising. I mean, as I say, you're the first person you had contact with in this world.
Yeah.
In some ways we're thinking, well, the children, we will never lose them. And when you've lost them, you will continue in some ways to look for them, or there'll be things which remind you of them or whatever. Yeah, in a way they don't necessarily disappear, but it's not a surprise that people say that.
Yeah.
It's not a surprise that in lots of the box sets that you watch, when there's grief, people will think that they've seen their loved one in a particular.
Oh yeah. That actually, talking about box sets, that got me to understand, because when we watch movies and when people die and they play them hallucinating, like they're seeing them talking to them, and if I used to relate, I was like, I'm like, this is not reality. But I was like, oh, okay, I see why they put those scenes in movies now. It makes sense. Okay. So we're wrapping up, but I'll just go throw some questions at you, okay? And then if you can just answer quickly a little bit. Did you experience any fears, or do you experience any fears now after losing your mom?
Any fears? I don't think I'll have any more children, just with the fear of knowing that she's not going to be able to meet them.
Okay.
Yeah. My siblings always like, oh, are you going to give us another one? I was like, nope. Nope, mom's not going to meet them. It's not. Yeah.
Okay, so talking about grave, and here's the grave question. So you already mentioned that you don't visit your mom's grave.
No, I visit my mom's grave.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh.
I just didn't visit
your babies. Yeah. Oh, okay, your baby, you don't visit your baby.
My mom, I visited on her birthday was the 6th of February. I went to go on my mom's grave. Then I go often to my mom's, just not to the baby.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, and you don't know why? You can't.
I don't know. I mean, after having 3 additional, back-to-back like passings, it's been on my mind a little bit. I don't know if I will or I won't, but I just not thought about it.
Do you feel guilty not visiting?
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh, cool.
It's weird though. The only person I feel guilty about not visiting is my mom. So if I haven't gone for like a couple of weeks, I'm like, oh my god, I need to go and see my mom. But with my cousin, my granddad, and baby, like, I don't feel the guilt. It's, I don't know.
Interesting. Do you have anything on it?
No, I mean, it's making me think all sorts of things. I mean, in some ways, without stressing the point, and I know we're about to end, that I've always said for myself, and I say to my family, I want to be cremated.
I want to be cremated.
I want my ashes to be spread anywhere in Africa. But the expectation is that once that happens, I won't expect my daughter, my wife, my cousins, friends to go and visit that place all the time. because I've passed. And when something's passed, other people can then move on.
Yeah.
When you bury somebody, it's kind of different because they are in a plot, in a place. My mother's buried in the garden of her home in Nigeria, and I know I can always go and visit that. But she has passed. Do you know what I'm saying? So I suppose it's different, you know, people that you've actually buried, but you know, maybe we need to be thinking about a mindset when it comes to people who have passed and what we think. I wouldn't want to necessarily feel guilty if I don't go to my mother's graveside, or if somebody doesn't go to where my ashes were thrown. You know, it's it's an
I
interesting.
get quite emotional like when I go to see my mom, like because my mom and my granddad are buried in the same cemetery, and when my granddad was passed like 2 years before she did, his one looks so much nicer. It's got like green grass over it, like it's really like she's got like the whole headstone, everything. My mum's one's not quite there yet, and I'm always like, why does it not? You know, it needs to look nice. What is this stone here? I'm really funny about it. But I don't get that with anyone else's.
I don't go visit my mom's grave. I went with my brothers, I think twice in the beginning when she first passed, maybe in the first 5 months, but I haven't gone after, because the second time I went to see my mom, my panic attack started. So I was like, hell no, I can't. So I haven't gone, and I feel really guilty. And I keep saying to my brothers, I have said to my brothers, we should go, but I'm so scared of my panic attacks coming back. But yeah, okay.
Understandable though.
Yeah. Has grief affected your faith or religion?
No, not really.
No?
No, if anything, I've learned a little bit more about how we do things when someone passes. I've got more education in terms of how it's done in Islam.
Yeah.
Apart from that, no, not really.
Okay, cool. Last few questions I'm going to try at you. So, like, are you a positive or negative griever? Do you know what that means?
Kind of, but go on, do you wanna?
With me, I'm a negative griever.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna grieve. I don't grieve telling people who are grieving, don't worry, you're gonna feel okay. I'll be like, girl, welcome to the struggle. I'm like, okay, yeah, cry. I'm not gonna say, oh no, don't cry. I'm not gonna tell you, oh, you're gonna feel okay. I'm not the one that will say, oh, it's not okay. It's never going to be okay. It will not be okay. Cry. If you're sad, be sad. If you wanna not eat, don't eat. But of course, look after your kids. If you don't want to talk to me, don't talk to me. I respect that. If you want to ignore me, ignore me. I'm not gonna say, no, you have to talk to your friends. So that's my negative side. You know, it works for you, because I know you say you like that. My other friend doesn't like it because she's like, Eloho. I'm like, yeah, don't come talk to me, because girl, I'm not going to tell you anything positive. There's nothing positive to me about losing my mother.
I'm trying to think. I think I'm a little bit of both. I think I'm more negative, but I do have a positive side to me.
Okay?
Because like just thinking about like conversations I've had even recently, my aunties will be like, it's okay, we have to feel blessed, you know, of the smaller things, which is very true, and I do feel blessed about the smaller things. But then when they're like, oh, like, you know, like your mum's in a better place, and I'm like, no, she would rather be here. What are you talking about? Like that's just craziness to me. There's a whole paper issue where basically my mum passed on the 19th, but they didn't call the time of death until the 20th because of the time, like so after 12 a.m. So now my family will be like, oh, you know, the 20th. I'm like, no, like don't be silly. But then when my granddad passed on the 20th of a different month, they're like, oh, you know, she would be happy because it's on the same day. I'm like, what are you talking about? That's crazy to me. No. So I'm very like negative in terms of like stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, without dragging things on that much further, I mean, why positive and negative? Grief is grief, right? We all respond to it in different ways. It's going to happen. Things pass, people pass. We respond to it in the way that we best see fits our circumstances or that we've grown up with, and we have to, you know, be accepting of that. I mean, think about it this way. There are some cultures, even in Nigeria, where when someone dies, you celebrate. You don't wear black, you wear white, and you celebrate the person's life and their passing. And in some ways, maybe that helps people to positively, using your terminology, accept the passing and the death. Whereas, you know, there'll be some cultures where it's all dark clothing, screaming and wailing at the graveside and everything else that's associated with that, which in some ways might have an impact on how you accept the loss of that person. But anyway, what I'm saying is it's not necessarily wrong or right or positive or negative.
Yeah.
Just deal with the circumstances as you find them. Best thing is to, in some ways, acknowledge and realize that we will suffer some form of grief in our lifetimes, about people and about things.
Yeah. No, I just made that positive and negative word up, to be honest.
Yeah.
I just said
useful.
Yeah, I just said I just think I'm a negative griever, to be honest. But yeah. But I'm actually a very positive person. So this is the one thing that you can't ask me to tell you anything positive about. I can't give you one thing that you walk away from. I saw some guy on Instagram talking about the loss of his dad, and he said the only good positive is that it made him a better person. I was like, I wish that was me. Losing my mom has killed my lifestyle, my career, my passion, my drive, everything. So I'm like, oh, how can I be positive and think, okay, let me live. Now I live life in the moment like I could die tomorrow. So I don't live.
But you've had the passion for this podcast. You've had the passion to bring it together, to bring everyone together, to talk, to share.
Well said.
One is better than one.
To be fair, this is the only positive. Let's start.
Yeah, but it's a start. It's
the start. Actually, high five, my friend. Yeah. That's a good one. Actually, this is a positive because, to be honest, it was a long time coming to find something I'm passionate about to do. We're going to wrap up. Okay. And to wrap, are you happy? I'll ask you the 3 last questions in one and you can answer briefly. Are you happy now? Even though I know it's a no, but I don't know, however you want to answer. But are you happy now? If yes, how did you find happiness whilst grieving? And how's your mental health today? And what helps keeps you sane?
Jeez.
It's a lot in one.
That's a lot in one.
Yes.
Even that, are you happy? I feel like that's a very loaded question. I feel like you can't say yes or no to that. I don't know if I'm happy right now.
I said the answer is no. Answer for you, girl.
Yeah.
Good.
My children and my family keep me sane.
Okay.
Yeah. Just knowing that they're growing up and, they're learning, and I will always show them pictures of all the family who has passed, and they will have the education of what's happened. And yeah, just the future keeps me positive. So that will keep me happy. But am I happy is a very hard question to answer.
No, I understand. Because me, I never said I was happy until when I turned 27. And this was maybe 7 years later is when I actually started saying I was happy. Because from when I lost my mom 2012 to 2017, I could never say I was happy. And I felt guilty saying I was happy. So that was another thing. I used to be like, oh no, I can't say I'm happy. My mom would be thinking, because even I used to think, if I'm dead today, why should my brothers be happy? No, be sad. Sorry, I'm sorry. But yeah, okay. Did you want to say anything?
I think that was a perfect response to the ending of this.
That was a great ending.
Perfect.
You know what it is? You have happy, things make you happy, but are you happy? I think it's 2 different things.
Yes, but we need to find your happiness though.
Yes, we will. My children make me happy.
Yeah, of course. 100%. Actually, I take that back. It would come naturally.
It will.
Yeah, you'd find internal peace and happiness. Because now I'm happy. I can say that confidently. And my happiness comes from actually family and traveling and my friends.
I think internal peace is good.
Peace. Yeah,
good one.
Okay. Yes. Thank you guys so much for your time. Did you want to say anything? I always wrap up with the word of the day, but before I end it, Brittany, is there any final thing you'd like to share?
No, just thank you very much for inviting me into your lives. I mean, that was really a line opener for me. To hear 2 friends talk frankly and openly about something that they both share in terms of their experience of grief. So thanks for that invite. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Any final words?
Just again, thank you for the opportunity. I haven't really spoken in an environment like this, just in general, but then to openly speak about just everything that's happened, especially with the new loss of my cousin. It's a lot, but I feel good. So thank you.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I thought there was going to be a lot of crying, but we did well.
No, the crying is good. We're holding it. We can cry after. Yeah. No, honestly, thank you so much, Yasmin, because listen, this is you. I don't know, lack of a better word. Thank you for coming on my podcast. It's not easy. Yeah. And okay, thank you guys for listening and watching. And word of the day is, while grief is a universal experience, the way grief is processed is unique to each individual. The grieving process takes time, and it looks different for each person. However, one of the most common complaints about bereaved is trouble sleeping. Yeah, mental health and sleep are closely connected, and the painful toll of losing a loved one can wreak havoc on both. Yeah, and my final quote actually is dedicated to you and your baby. Okay, so the quote goes, you never arrived in my arms, but you will never... Why am I crying? Sorry, I don't understand. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. Sorry, I don't understand. Sorry.
It's okay.
Oh my god. Oh, okay.
We've done so well.
Sorry, I don't know why I'm now talking to your baby, and this triggered me. Sorry. Okay, let me just say it again. So the quote is, sorry, you never arrived in my arms, but you will never leave my heart. If there ever comes a day when we can't be together, keep me in your heart. I'll stay there forever. Before I carried the pain, I carried you, and in my heart, I carry you still. That's the quote, girl.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, so that's for your baby. And yes, okay guys, I'm so sorry I ended crying. This is ridiculous, but yes, this is part of grieving. And don't forget guys, thank you so much for listening. Remember, this is a video and audio podcast. I can't even see my screen anymore, but do not forget to tune in to the next episode. All information will be on our social media page. And remember to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Please also send us a topic about grief. I can't see my screen. Sorry, I'm trying to wipe the tears off. Sorry, okay, yes. Please send us a topic about grief. Whatever grief conversations you like us to have. If you would like to be featured on our podcast, to share your experiences, please let us know by sending an email. It would be on the screen, and we will be happy to have you on. And thank you so much, and sorry for the tears. The end. Peace out.